Hey, what's up, guys? I've had a really busy day out here trying to work on the cabinet and the wall part here. So right now, what I've been doing is, well, the plan is to have a straight wall that comes down pretty much right where that beam is. I just put that 2x4 there to hold the wall once it's up and in place. And then the countertop is going to slide underneath that wall, and then I'm going to screw up from underneath for the countertop to secure it. But anyway, so what I've been working on today is this rectangular piece that's going to go right here. And it's been a pain because I'm going to have electrical in it, and I really wanted to have that accessible in here and on the front side. So I said a few days ago, or a few videos ago, that I was going to work on this, but I couldn't get that cover and all that stuff back together and buttoned up until I ran the wire into the wall here. And I couldn't do that until I really had a plan. I really had to figure it out. It's kind of nutty. So what did I end up doing with it? Try to follow me here. This is a little ridiculous. But I drilled a hole in the side, so that's going to be in the middle of the wall. So just picture a regular stud wall in a house. So I'm not using studs, not using wood, trying to keep everything as light as possible, but it's still going to have wires going down the middle. I have this wood surface on both sides, so that side and this side. And right now, I glued the back side to that foam. You can see it, so it's wood, foam, wood, and that's the wall right there. So you can see the wires sticking out, and those wires are going to go into this hole that I just showed you on the inside. So they're going to go through there, and then I'm going to use my dowel technique that I've talked about in my other videos, where I'm going to just drill a 1/2-inch hole through this at a few different points, and then also on top I'll drill down, and I take a dowel and I jam it straight in there along with some Gorilla Glue, really heavy duty construction adhesive. And so far it hasn't failed me in the other parts. It's worked really well. So that's what I've been working on. And to explain myself a little bit more, this wall was really complicated because I had to glue one side to the foam. Then I had to figure out where my outlets were going to go. So I basically put them in the middle, which you'll see probably tomorrow when I lift this up. So I put the outlets basically in the middle of the wall, and then I had to cut the channels, which I just use a soldering iron, a really hot soldering iron to make channels, and it makes it really easy. That's what I've used for all these. So if you're ever building a Foamie, that's what you use. Do it outside though, because it stinks really bad. So I made the channels, ran the wires, and then that's why these are just sticking out right now, because as I feed, or I'll have to feed the wires through as I put that wall in place. But to add to all the crap is that, so these are the outlets that I'm using. So I have 2 each of these, and I figured it'd just be a good idea to have a bunch of different style outlets for many different occasions. And as you can see, even this one too, is way thicker than just a typical outlet. So this is no problem. It can fit within the foam wall, but these are really thick, and this one's the thickest. So it actually sticks past the wall about 1/2 inch. So what I had to do is make a little frame, a little spacer that I exactly traced this cover, so you're really not going to see it once it's all installed. It'll still look okay. It's just going to be spaced out a little bit. But really, that was the only way that I could do it. I mean, I guess I could have gone with thicker walls, but every inch matters with these little campers. So I really wanted to make sure that it was as useful as possible. So I have these two. This one's not a decorative one because it's going to be inside a cabinet, which will make sense later as you see this develop and all come together. But this is going to be basically on the backsplash of the kitchen that I have back there. So that's what I have going on, and finally getting low on materials. I've had sheets of foam and wood around here for months, and I'm down to one sheet of foam there and just a couple scraps. I've got another scrap up there. So getting down there in supplies, which hopefully means I'm getting close to being done. It doesn't always work out that way, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will pick up again probably in a day or two as I get this uncovered and get that wall mounted. But cool things are happening. It's just slow because you gotta wait for things to dry and wait for good weather. I gotta find time to get out here. And oh yeah, actually, before I let you go, there is one other thing I just did. So you can probably tell right there, that's all new on both sides. And I just wanted to secure the walls to the floor a little bit better because it did flop and move a little bit. And so I took a sander to it. I sanded both sides, so about 3 inches on the floor, 3 inches on the wall. And then I cut some really thick, really good fiberglass fabric that I have that I'm actually going to be using for the wall out here. So I had some left over, and I used that stuff. And so I got that in there. It's going to be curing overnight, and yeah, so that's just going to make it a little bit stronger in case I'm going on the road and yeah, get a gust of wind or something. Just thought it was a good idea. All right, I guess that's it for this clip, and I'll pick up again probably a couple days.
Just a quick update here. I'm not using the gimbal, so you're probably going to notice it being a little more jittery. I'm trying to be stable and good. But so I'm touching this, and it's not even tacky anymore. It looks like this is curing nicely, and I'm pretty happy with that so far. I haven't lifted off all the weight off of the I guess it would maybe be called a bulkhead that's going to go right there. Haven't lifted all the weight off of that yet. Maybe tonight. I think right now is about 24 hours, but I thought I'd let it cure a little bit longer. And then, so yeah, maybe later tonight I'll lift it off and see how it looks, and then I still will have to resin the wood just like this so it matches on this side and everything. So maybe later tonight I'll get out here and work on it a little bit more, but so far so good. Everything is looking pretty good.
Okay, I've got what I hope is the final layer of epoxy resin on top of this. I sanded down the first layer and just put on a second layer, and it does look a little wavy, but I'm hoping it levels out before it's hardened or anything. And I'll let this cure probably the rest of the day, maybe even tomorrow, and then I'll get it into the camper. This is just frustrating and exhausting. So I'm here in the garage. I just checked on how this is going. It's been a bunch of hours. I don't know. Right now it's like 5 o'clock, and my last clip was maybe at 8 o'clock. And you can kind of see with the reflection that all of this is just so rippled. Really, really frustrated that this is not perfect. So now I'm going to look into this some more and see if I can sand this, but every time you sand it, it seems like it just scuffs it, and then usually put it on another layer. So I got a special delivery. He's a hot mess right now, really needs his daddy, so I guess I gotta get back in there. But yeah, so I gotta look into this and see what's going on and see why it's so ripply. I had the heater going on all day for it, and it's not good enough. All right, buddy, say goodbye to YouTube. Say goodbye. Oh, look at that. He did that. That was like the first time he's done that. He's never said goodbye. That's awesome. All right, I gotta go. Okay, bulkhead is in place, and it hasn't been attached or anything yet, but I wanted to see how it was gonna look. And then I have this piece, which I would probably fiberglass this front part and then cut out some openings on each side to just have for cabinets for just storage space, and then in the center maybe just a medium to small sized TV, and then attach that up there just like I'm going to do for this as well.
but not so bad. Even with the reflection off the light, again, yeah, I don't have my gimbal, just have my phone on here with me. I think it'll be okay, especially considering that piece of wood is going to be inside the cabinet. So I was really worried about it looking pretty bad, but from here, it's fine. I guess it's doable. And I'll show you what it looks like. So these are the wires sticking out that I will attach to those wires there. Those are coming from the wall. And then right here, this all looks like a pretty good depth. Oh, the salamander's about to kick on. Hopefully you can still hear me. But so the cabinet, the countertop will come out to the edge of the cabinets here, and it's arm reach away. So I think that'll be pretty good for all of our stuff. So yeah, I guess everything's going all right. All right, I just put fiberglass here in the corners. You can see light shining through because unfortunately there's a bit of a gap. It just didn't line up perfectly. I don't have my gimbal, so this is kind of bouncy. But you can't see the fiberglass at least, so that's good. And what's going to happen next is that this piece here is going to be the front side of the cabinet. But yeah, just wanted to show you this. And then out here, I use the same dowel technique that I've talked about many times. So I just drilled a hole in the sides, and then also on the roof, I put 4 dowels down. And yeah, then back here, I also did the fiberglass. It's not cured yet, so it's super glossy. But I put the fiberglass here in the corner just to give it strength. This is really going to be good, I think, for the whole envelope of the camper. It's really going to give good strength to the roof and everything. So next, I have to obviously still install the outlets, and I have to wire all this stuff up. But before I jiggle too much of the stuff around and really pull on those wires, I really want to make sure that the sides and everything were all secure. I'm also going to put fiberglass in the corner up there, but I'll probably put a light amount of weight on the roof over there just to keep some downward pressure for the fiberglass when I do the roof. But it's going pretty good so far. So this has turned out to be one of the longer segments I think that I've had, but making some good progress. I have the wall all attached there now. I have the electrical outlets done. They're totally installed. I have this cover on with that outlet, so I have a GFI here that also feeds this one and the one inside that you'll see here in a second. So that's protected. And then one thing I don't like so far is that this sticks out a bit just because of all the wiring. I tried making it as flat as possible. Unfortunately, I might have to do a little bit of Bondo, maybe a little bit of work around that just to make it look smooth. So that's disappointing. I could do another raised ring like I did around that, but I feel like it's different because you're looking at this, you can't tell that it's too raised. But if it was over here, you'd obviously be able to see that it was raised. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but unfortunately just with 1-inch walls plus wood, it's yeah, it happened. Moving on. So then in here, I do have a TV, so you can see that. I bought a 24 inch TV. It's going to be right in the middle of the next wall. So this wall is done. It's the electrical's done up there. It's all been fiberglassed in place. And next, I'm going to build another wall that's going to be the front part of this. It's going to hold the TV and some cabinet doors, and that'll be a storage area up there. So I'm going to head to Home Depot here shortly. I think I might actually just go with pine, some kind of wood or something. Not too thick because it doesn't really need to be too thick.
just needs to hold doors and hold a very light TV. But as you can probably tell with the spacing of my videos, it's just really time consuming, and trying to get everything just smooth and fiberglassed and dried and everything in place. And we still have winter weather, unfortunately, so it's still slowing everything down. And I think wood will be okay in this instance. Especially the main reason I'm okay with that is that at this point I'm pretty much to where the wheels are. So in the rear, I wanted everything to be absolutely as light as I could while including as much as I could. So now that I'm up to the point where the wheels are, it's going to be less bad. Hey guys, wow, this lighting's really bad. But so I'm gonna end this segment here. I still have more work to do, but I wanted to get something out to you guys. I am still gonna keep working on the cabinets and the shelves and get everything done in there, getting all the electrical done. I didn't like that little bulge over there so I took that apart, and I'm gonna try to clean that up a little bit and just get that nice and smooth. I also picked up a bunch of foam and some more wood, and I've really been just mulling over in my head, like, what do I do for a countertop? How do I build this cabinet that's going to be in there? What do I use for doors? All this stuff. And because this hasn't really been done a whole lot, and the people who have built these Foamie campers I haven't seen any posts. So I'm really wondering how other people have done their cabinets, but I haven't seen anything at all. So I'm doing the best I can, trying to make all this stuff work. Unfortunately, all of this stuff is just way more expensive than if I had just gone with foam. I went to the hardware store today when I picked up all this stuff, and all of these sheets were way more, at least twice the money. Could even be triple when you count the glue and the time. Jeez. So it's a lot more expensive and more time consuming to build it this way. But as for weight, it doesn't even compare. I was looking at 1/2 inch sheets of 4 by 8 foot, whatever, and you name the type of wood, and they were all significantly heavier than anything I've been dealing with here. So a lot of pros and cons, and it is pretty discouraging because it takes so much time, and it's not hard work, it's just time. And when you have now he's going to be almost a 15-month-old, and a wife to take care of and do all the stuff around the house, it's tough to get everything done. And so basically what I end up doing is putting on one layer of fiberglass, putting the resin down, and then I'm needed and I'd go inside and do something, and that's all I get done for that day. And the next day I might sand it and put a little more resin on, and then that's it for that day. And the last day, maybe I get to sand it some more and paint it if I'm lucky. And it's just been a chore to deal with, and it's kind of discouraging. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna end this clip now because I wanted to get you guys something, and just to see what I've been working on. Still pretty active. Most nights I get at least an hour, couple hours in. I wish it was a little bit more, but it's been a little tough. And then I've been over analyzing everything, trying to figure out what kind of materials to use. Is this foam gonna work? What kind of wood should I use? What should I do for the edges? All this stuff. So it's just been a lot. So I'm still waiting on the controller and a lot of electronics to manage the battery pack and do stuff like that. But it's okay because I still have a few projects here and there to work on. It's middle of March. My goal in my head was to have all of this wrapped up and done by the end of March. I don't know if it's going to happen, hopefully, but I can't do much without the controllers anyway, so I've just been kind of taking my time. I haven't really been rushing with all the fiberglass because you can only do so much in one day when you're waiting for fiberglass and resin to cure. All right, so I guess I've rambled on for long enough. Hopefully you like this video. I have a new editor that's going to put it together for me and take out some of my ums and sniffles, so you guys won't have to deal with that quite as much. And yeah, so I guess I'll leave it here and let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, feel free to like and subscribe, maybe. See you guys.